Greetings from South Korea. I am Arang, Arirang News AI anchor. Here is the news making headlines today. South Korea's Trade Minister Yoh Han-gu, who is currently in the United States, met with key American figures on Monday local time to clarify the intent behind Korea's digital platform regulations. Yoh reportedly met with Republican Congressman Daryl Issel, who recently criticized Korea's moves against Coupang and alleged hostility against U.S. companies as a result of the regulations. He also met with U.S. law firms advising the Korean government and joined a roundtable with related interest groups to outline the legislative intent behind the recent passing of the Communications Network Act. North Korea has stolen nearly $3 billion in cryptocurrency, making its cyber operations one of the most urgent security threats facing the United States and its allies. Senior U.S. State Department official Jonathan Fritz said Monday that the hacking campaign is now a top U.S. priority because it threatens American citizens, businesses, and national security. Fritz was speaking in New York ahead of a briefing by the Multinational Sanctions Monitoring Team, an 11-nation group created after Russia shut down the UN expert panel on North Korea sanctions in April 2024. According to the group's latest report, North Korea stole $2.84 billion in cryptocurrency between January 2024 and September 2025, including $1.65 billion in the first 9 months of 2025. U.S. officials say the money is being used to fund North Korea's weapons programs and bypass international sanctions. Gold prices surged to a new all-time high on Monday, with February gold futures hitting a record $4,638 per ounce, up 3.1% from the previous trading day. Silver futures for March also hit an all-time high on the same day as it surged 8.2% from the previous trading day to $85.84 per ounce. According to experts, the rally to a new all-time high was driven partially by mounting concerns over the independence of the U.S. Federal Reserve, as well as other market uncertainties. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said Sunday that the U.S. Justice Department had issued him with grand jury subpoenas related to testimony he made to Congress on renovations to the Fed's headquarters. Powell said the move was politically motivated and related to disagreements over the Fed's interest rate policies. The Trump administration has opened a criminal probe into Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell in an explosive clash between the White House and the U.S. Central Bank. Powell disclosed that the Justice Department on Sunday served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas last week, threatening criminal indictment over comments he made to Congress about cost overruns tied to a $2.5 billion renovation of the Fed's Washington headquarters. Powell pushed back publicly, calling the probe a pretext to strip the Fed of its independence and force interest rate cuts. The move drew swift condemnation from former Fed chairs, global central bankers, and senior Republicans, including Senate Banking Committee members, who warned the probe risks undermining the independence of the world's most influential central bank. Republican Senator Thom Tillis has already vowed to block any future Fed nominees until the administration resolves this legal assault. Financial markets reacted immediately. Long-term U.S. Treasury yields rose, gold hit a record high and the dollar weakened as investors weighed the consequences of a politicized Federal Reserve. Sales of Korean museum goods reached an all-time high last year, riding the global wave of interest in Korean culture. The National Museum Foundation of Korea said on Tuesday that sales of its merchandise brand Mutes reached $28 million in 2025, nearly double the revenue of the previous year. The growing popularity of museum merchandise has also boosted interest in the National Museum of Korea, which drew 6.5 million visitors last year. The foundation said it plans to expand into the global market by strengthening cooperation with overseas museums and linking its products with major international events, including the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympic Games. That is all from me today. Thank you for watching.